Tim Peake, rocket rolled to launch pad. The rocket that will carry UK astronaut Tim Peake into orbit has arrived at the launch pad in Baikonur, Kazakhstan. At 1300 hours GMT 7 o'clock local time, the Soyuz launcher was rolled out on its flatbed transporter for the 2-kilometer train journey to the pad. The train took almost 2 hours to reach the pad, known as Site No. 1. Mr. Peake will be accompanied by American Tim Kopra and Russian Yuri Malenchenko on Tuesday's flight to the International Space Station (ISS). It should take the astronauts about 6 hours to reach the orbiting outpost, where they will dock and join the crew of 3 already stationed there. Astronauts' relatives, members of the backup crew, space agency officials and journalists were among the visitors gathered to see the rocket rolled out of its hangar and lifted to the vertical position at the launch site where Yuri Gagarin became the first human to blast into space in 1961. Among them were Tim Peake's parents, Angela and Nigel. Angela Peake told BBC News it was fantastic to be at Baikonur for her son's launch, adding she was immensely proud of him. Nigel Peake said, "Tim is raring to go now. He's trained, he's ready, he's happy. They're all together and just waiting for the big lift off." He added he was a bit overawed at the scale of the operation. German-born Alexander Gerst, who was one of the other 5 European Space Agency ESA astronauts selected along with Mr. Peake in 2009, told me, "I met Tim yesterday. He's in very good spirits, and he's looking forward to it." Mr. Gerst, who flew to the ISS in 2014, added, "It's going to be an amazing ride for him. I'm jealous. He really deserves his flight, but I told him, if you have another seat up there in the spaceship I'll come with you." It was a bitterly cold morning here at Baikonur Cosmodrome, as a diesel locomotive was backed up to the door of the giant hangar-like facility known as Building 112, in readiness to haul the rocket along the railway track to its destination. Follow the launch. The BBC has had unique behind-the-scenes access to Tim Peake's training and launch. Follow his video diaries on Horizon, Tim Peake Special, How to Be an Astronaut, and watch the launch live on Blast Off Live, the Stargazing Live special at 10:30 GMT on Tuesday, December 15th. You can also see him arrive on the International Space Station, at 1900 hours GMT the same evening, on BBC Two in Stargazing Live, Brim in Space. As the shutters lifted in the darkness, revealing the building's illuminated interior, there was excitement as the crowd glimpsed the red nozzles and polished metal of the Soyuz rocket's business end. The locomotive sounded its whistle and sped past us, with the launcher and its transporter in tow. We then decamped to a railway crossing to watch the launcher proceed down the final stretch of track to the launch site known informally as Gagarin Star. Once it arrived, the rocket was to be raised up and encased within the arms of its service structure. Soyuz rocket roll-out. Here to see the rocket arrive was David Willetts, the former UK science minister, who is regarded by many as the architect behind Tim Peake's mission to the ISS. I asked him what it was like to see the plans come to fruition. "It's incredibly exciting. It's been a long journey from those negotiations with the European Space Agency in 2012. That's when I changed the policy and we moved into participating in manned missions. The fact he's going to do some great science while he's up there has justified that decision."